Boys Raw Vegan Soul Food Show. Have you all been enjoying that music? I know you're wondering about the tie-in. I'm going to tell you in just a second, okay? I can see clearly, okay? And then how did you enjoy that information from Dr. Wallach, huh? Seeing clearly, understanding what the true issues are. Because, you know, okay, so Sister Modupe Raw Vegan Soul Food Show, you know, we're here every week because we're learning how to be nutritionally optimized, because I'm a nutritional missionary, remember. We're learning how to become nutritionally optimized from the head to our feet, in our wallet, our spirit, our emotions, our intellect, all of it, right? So, I want you to ask yourself a question. I'm asking myself, why are kidney dialysis centers popping up in the community like it's a new shoe store? Or a new church front? Okay, I'm going to leave that alone. All right. Why? Okay. I want you to ask why. We're going to investigate some possible answers, but just ask yourself. It's becoming so prevalent. I know you probably know somebody, or you know somebody who's on kidney dialysis, right? Like it's normal. As you heard Dr. Wallach saying in the opening in that interview with Benny Hinn, it's not the kidney. We're going to investigate what's really going on. We want to see clearly, right? Because when you can see clearly, you can think clearly, and then you can act accordingly. Because I don't want to keep talking about a cure. I don't want to talk about disease management. I want to talk about prevention. I want to talk about understanding it so you don't step off the cliff and you don't want to be in midair talking about, I hope I land softly or safely. We don't have to do that. Remember, this is a magnificent temple. This body will heal and maintain, grow, whatever you need it to be doing at the time, as long as you give it the right nutrients, okay? So we're going to take a look at our first link here, and we're going to get some answers, some understanding about, well, what do kidneys do, right? All right, kidneys don't function by themselves. They work along with the liver. The liver takes care of the proteins and things that you consume, turns it into urine, and then the kidney, along with filtering the blood and water and stuff in the body, producing urine to send those waste products out of the body, okay? That's why it's essential. When people go and have kidney dialysis, you know what they're doing? They're going and they're getting a machine to do the work of the kidney. It's like all the fluids in the body are being passed out of the body into this machine, cleaned up and put back into the body. I know that does not sound like fun. It wipes people out. It's a terrible situation to be in. Only in that it don't feel good. I'm never going to say, as long as someone's breathing, there's always a chance to turn a situation around. But you got to have an understanding. You got to be able to see clearly the source, the reason for this happening, right? You don't want to just say, oh, well, this is going on now, give me a pill. No, you want to understand what that functioning of the body is supposed to be like, and understand what the body is lacking or what you're doing that you shouldn't be doing, so that you can get out of the way of the body and it can heal and maintain itself. We do have to give it some good raw materials, though, right? We've talked on this show a number of times about the fact that food by itself is not going to do it. I don't care if you're eating organic food all the time. And that's because the soil is missing so many nutrients that the body needs as building blocks, in particular minerals, right? Because the plants can't make the minerals. So that's what kidneys do. They are removing waste and extra water from the body and making urine. And then you got to send that urine out. I'm working with someone now, and a client of ours, he's only got 10 to 15% working capacity of his kidneys. Now you might think, well, that person's probably 90 something or whatever, lived a long life. No, this person's just over 40. And I met someone who was under 30, who was a bodybuilder. He shot his kidneys too. We're going to investigate what that's about. You heard Dr. Wallach mention in the video that it's a lot of eating fried foods, eating things that are very hard to process by the body, and it starts breaking the body down and clogging the body up. And then on top of that, not having enough nutrients in the body to form a defense system, right? Your immune system, all these organs have different cells that work to maintain themselves. The body as a whole has the immune system, pardon me. But it needs the right raw materials. Your car, I don't care how brand new, shiny, big engine it has, if you don't have gas in it, it ain't going nowhere. Even if it's got all new working parts, right? And the same with the body. Not only do we have to make sure we have the right quality, and we have to have the right quantity of fuel, and that's minerals, vitamins, amino acids, essential fatty acids, antioxidants, okay? Those things help the body do what it needs to do. Those are the raw materials. All right, so let's take a look at understanding. We can see some information there saying that it talks about chronic kidney disease and such. That's what the CKD is. And they have 5 different phases. And you can go from just having some issues to stage 5 where you're needing a kidney transplant. Now check this out. Every organ we're born with, we need. They used to think tonsils were just something. There used to be a saying amongst doctors many years ago that tonsils were just something that people were born with so that that the surgeons would have something to practice on removing from the body. Now they understand they're crucial. Every part you're born with, you need. And guess what? Every part has been designed, created, this beautiful, wonderful, magnificent temple to last you all your days you're here. But you got to take care of it, okay? So like I say, it's important to understand nutrition, not just with chronic kidney disease, but with everything. Everything. The whole body needs the right kind of resources to keep it going. Okay, so it's important about calories and all kinds of things. Let me tell you something else you may not understand. As people are dealing with kidney disease, their taste buds change. Food doesn't taste the same anymore. It's very hard for them to keep their weight on, and protein becomes a really big problem. Now, you're always, all your life, you're told, oh, you got to get plenty of protein, keep yourself healthy, build your body, da-da-da. Well, guess what? With kidney disease, your kidneys are no longer able to handle the protein. So you actually have to decrease the amount of protein you're taking in. So people are on dialysis quite often. They lose a lot of weight. They have to make sure that they're eating easy on the body proteins. I'm going to talk about that because remember, we've talked a lot about the fact that you can get all your complete proteins from plant sources, and plant sources are much easier on the body than meat and dairy and things like that. Okay, so let's take a look at the next slide. The next link. We're hoping that our machines here are going to cooperate with us. But anyway, in the meantime, like I say, I'm going to talk with you about protein, because protein, eating the wrong form, the wrong amounts, the wrong preparation of proteins blows the kidneys out, right? It's like you get in a Volkswagen and you want to go 200 miles an hour. Guess what? That engine is not designed to do that. And you're going to tear it up. Well, we can learn to prevent so that we're not dealing with all these dialysis clinics. We want to see those things closed. We don't want to say, oh, we got a new 200-bed or seat dialysis clinic in our neighborhood. No, that's not what you want to see. You want to learn how to prevent and how to support the body so that we don't end up in those kind of places, right? And again, even if we do, there's a way to turn it around. In case some of you are just tuning in, Dr. Wallach was being interviewed by Benny Hinn, and he has told, I have been in person with him and speaking, and he's told me about this story. Myself and my husband were, I think, in Anaheim at a convention, and we talked with him, and he was telling us about this man he spoke about who had been on dialysis for decades. It started when he was a very young man, matter of fact, I believe a teenager, and he hadn't been able to urinate in years. Right? Now, I know that just probably sends shivers through your body, right? Not being able to urinate. You know it's an absolutely important body function. So it's something you don't want to jeopardize, talking about ACE and this, that, and the other. So again, you want to eat the right proportions, the right qualities of food such that they don't clog the body and they don't tear down organs. Okay, so I talked a bit about protein. And this is an article that talks about good herbs for kidney cleansing, right? Because we're talking about prevention. We don't want to get in a situation and then now we're trying to go to a professional. They're telling us how it's not working. Oh, eventually this is going to happen. You might go blind. You're going to need a kidney transplant, all that kind of thing. So we're just going to kind of scroll through this list. And these are things that you can use because remember, again, the food can't do it by itself. So there are 10 herbs that are listed here. And as a matter of fact, you see number 4 there, horsetail. My husband doesn't know it, but he had some of that in his smoothie today. Yes, sir. I really like horsetail because it grows in the desert. It grows out in this kind of environment. It is super good for the body. It's got lots of silica in it, which is what you need for your skin and such, right, ladies? We want to maintain that firm skin and our nails and our hair and all of that. Well, it's also very good for the kidney, too. And you see celery root, gravel root. So there's a variety of things that we can take to help this body, because these things are quite often called weeds. But guess what? I always like to tell the story. I don't know what it is about the biology of a dandelion. They come out with chemicals every year to get rid of dandelions, and they still come back. You know what? That's the kind of life force I want in me. Where it's like, okay, you do that, I'm going to do this, but I'm still going to stay around, right? So we have to understand that the things like herbs, they're great medicinal medicine. They give you some support to the body, but you can't depend on them without taking some other supplements to fully support the body, because you eat enough of these things to provide all the protein or all the things you need. But they are very good as a side supplement to the body. And you see those? They had very good kidney cleansing properties. So now we're going to take next a look at a link online that talks about vegetarian diets and chronic kidney disease. That's CKD again, right? Okay, now one thing I really want to point out here, you see in the red letters, whether you're this kind of vegetarian, vegan, whatever, your food choices can be adapted to a diet. I always like to say live it, because we're talking about life, right? Our eating lifestyle designed for kidney disease management. Did you see that word, management? I am not down for managing any disease, anything longer than a very short term, right? I'm not going to come here and talk with you about how to manage, let me show you how you can live with this disease for 30 years, 50 years. No, we want to understand what the source of the problem is and turn that around, okay? So I'm not talking about, on this show, we're going to talk about solutions. We're not going to be talking about managing diseases. No, don't be telling me how to live with cancer, live with heart disease, all that kind of thing. I want to understand the source of it so I can cut it off at the pass, as they used to say, okay? We're here to learn, understand, so that we can act to not have these kind of ailments, right? You don't want to be telling looking like you're telling your children and your grandchildren, well, this is happening to me. Wait till you're this age. When elders say that, I think, I love you, but that's not the right kind of information we want to talk about. We've not been sent here to suffer. We've not been sent here to fall apart. Just because we go around the sun, and that's a cycle, that's a yearly cycle, because we've gone around the sun a number of years, whether it's 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 100, 110, on and on and on, doesn't mean that we have to fall apart. But you have to understand the pitfalls and understand what breaks the body down, what clogs the body, what does not feed the body properly, what gets in the body's way of constantly being able to repair itself. We have to realize that these bodies are like manufacturing plants. Okay, we like a waste facility too, one that handles waste. All of that we're building, we're repairing, we're creating, we're getting rid of old cells and creating new cells. There's just a dynamo. There's just a lot going on in this body. Wonderful, beautiful processes, right? They're trying to make machines now. I heard about some kind of skin, artificial skin they were making that could kind of heal itself or something. We'll cover that another show. But right now, we are designed to repair, build, get rid of waste, right? Every machine has to get rid of, if there's some motion or something going on, then there's something that has to be gotten rid of it, whether it's heat, whether it's gas, whatever. So our bodies are phenomenal temples. We have to feed them properly. So anyway, this particular article speaks to how to, about what they call high-quality protein sources. I am not down with all of the examples of things that they give you here, but the one thing I will say is when you look at all these lists of how people have to change how they're eating, that's the kind of thing you want to understand to do now. If they're saying that if you keep eating this 30 years down the road, you're going to have to stop because it's now got you in an alley backed up with some issues, right? We're learning how to say, okay, I don't need that. All right. My mother is a fantastic cook. She's from the South. And I always say I stand on the shoulders of giants in doing the raw foods I do, about learning how to season them and prepare them in different ways. And I stand on their shoulders. My mother, my grandmother, my father, fabulous Southern cooks. But I had to switch it up because, again, I was looking at the health issues and problems that my family was having. I was like, I don't want heart disease. I don't want to have strokes. I don't want to have knee replacement, on and on. And there's ways that we can definitely avoid that, okay? So anyway, some of the other issues that people have with when they get kidney disease is like the potassium. They've got to watch what they eat in terms of potassium. But guess what? You need a lot of potassium every day. It helps with your heart function, on and on and on, right? But when the body gets out of balance, when you end up in a diseased state, some illness, some situation, right? Now the body can't even handle the things that it absolutely needs, okay? That's not a good place to get into, right? All right. It's like on a chessboard. Okay, you get into check. Okay, next thing coming might be checkmate. We're going to avoid that. We're going to learn how to play this board, okay, so that we get the best out of this life. Vitality, youthfulness, energy, fun. I love fun. I don't care if it's work. Have fun doing work, okay? Being able to pursue those things that you're passionate about. That's why we're sent here. We're sent here to bring forth our uniqueness and share it with others, all right? Create and share. That's why we're here. All right, let's take a look at our next slide and our next site link and things like fluids. Do you know people who end up with chronic kidney disease? They're limited to their intake of fluids. That's right. The thing that you need to keep the body balanced and in good health and functioning well, now you've got to limit it, right? So quite often they're only limited to a quart of water. Wow, a quart of water. I'm looking over here at my husband. A quart of water. I drink a quart of water when I get up in the morning. So, get thirsty or out of balance all this today, like a place I want to get to. So you want to take care of those organs so that you can always do those things that you enjoy, foods that are good for you that you enjoy and such, all right? So I brought up we've visited this site before of talking about vegan sources of calcium. I bring this up because this is another thing that the body needs a lot of. But if you look at this list, we scroll through this list a bit and look at some of the things that are great sources of calcium, people who are having issues with their kidneys, they can no longer eat some of these things. Things like kale, because it's too high in potassium, or phosphorus, and things like that. They can eat them, they can only eat a little. And so again, you don't want to get your body in such a state that it's not able to handle those nutritious foods and things that are absolutely essential to good health. So things like protein. I want to speak about protein. I think we missed one of the links I wanted to look at. It has Dr. McDougall or McDonald, not McDonald, McDougall. And some of the points that he brings up in there are really good. And there are references at the so it's not just something he's pulling out of his hat or out of his head. It's good information in terms of understanding how protein will cause a big problem for the body if you eat way more than you need. Okay, fantastic. You see what it says there? Protein overload. People on the standard American diet, people call it SAD, eat way more protein than their body needs. And a phenomenal thing that when I was reading this article that I found out is that by the time many people are 70, and 70 is young, 70 is young. If you eat properly and stay active, 70 is the new 30 or 40 as far as I'm concerned, right? So, as a matter of fact, my husband told me he just met, was this guy 70-something or 80-something? 82, and he said he could not believe it. The guy's in good shape, brain, his mind is clear, and he's living and loving life, okay? Living and loving life. That's what we want to do the whole time we're here. So protein overload. If you eat much more protein than the body needs, and on the standard American diet, people eat, come on, in America, people sometimes sit down and eat a pound or a pound and a half, 16-ounce, 20-ounce steak, sometimes in one sitting. That is such an overload on the body. So as I was saying, In this article, he talks about the fact that if you eat the standard American diet, which is way more too much protein than you need, and it's not a good source of protein because meat, dairy, they have a lot of sulfur atoms in that kind of protein, right? And that is very hard on the body. So he says by the time people in America are 70 years old, they have blown 25% of their kidney function. That is scary. 25% of the kidney function is gone by the time most people in America are 70 if they're eating on the standard American diet, which has a lot of oils that are rancid, like eating a lot of Crisco and all that type of thing, a lot of fried foods, canola oils, eating a lot of baked goods that have rancid oils in them, and the kidney just gets overwhelmed and it starts being destroyed. Now, how many of you caught I said the kidney? Quite often it's the kidney, the organ itself, as Dr. said, it is the vessel that leads to become corroded or destroyed. Let me give you an analogy. So let's take your kitchen sink. All of them had a plug, sink, or other things, right? Now the bowl, let's just kind of pretend that's the kidney. It's fine. The kitchen sink itself, it's fine. The pipes that lead from the sink are jacked, right? They're full of grease or food you shouldn't have put down the sink, right? It's all clogged. So the kidney or the sink is fine. It's just waiting to do its thing, be able to hold something and be drained. That's, essentially like what the kidney does. But if the pipes that lead to the kidney, if the vessels, the little arteries and veins that lead to the kidney become plugged, the kidney cannot accept waste that it needs to filter, produce urine, and then send out. It can't do its job any longer. So Dr. Wallach, as he was saying in the video, was a pathologist. So he would have kidneys or bodies sent to him. He'd open them up. They want him to verify this person died of kidney disease. And he's like looking at the kidney going like, what do you mean this person died from kidney disease? This kidney's fine. But the vessels that lead to the kidney have become corroded, have become clogged, they're destroyed. They can't do what they're supposed to do. Or I won't say to totally destroy. They become so clogged and they need to be unclogged. And so you need to know what to eat, what not to eat, and you're also going to need supplements because obviously this has happened because of things you've eaten or not eaten, and then the fact that you haven't been taking supplements that gave the body enough minerals and other materials to keep that part of the body functioning properly, okay? So if you go to my rawvegansoulfood.com, I have video there where I'm speaking about the supplements and understanding what the body needs and why. I also have a way for you to take a look at some of the products that he mentioned. And again, this is not about pushing products. This is about you understanding how to maintain and regain your health, right? Because remember, the very first show that I did, I said that this show is going to be about solutions. This show is going to be about upliftment, not to talk about problems and no solution or to say, oh, give up or there's no way around it or whatever. No, we're clever, we're intelligent, and we have everything we need right here. This is a heaven on earth. Remember, we have all the resources we need, but you got to understand what's good for you and what's going to create a problem. Well, I've enjoyed the show today as always, and I hope so much that you got a lot out of it. Don't forget to go to All-in-One Press Kit, our sponsor. We're so glad they're sponsoring the show. You can get a gateway to every piece of social media and everything else that you need. Take a look at my website, rawvegansoulfood.com. You'll see I have video up there. I have links to all my social media, like my YouTube channel, on and on, one-stop shopping. My son likes to say it's a gateway to everything about you. Okay? So this is Sister Modupe signing off. And remember, question things, right? Why are all these dialysis clinics in the community? We don't need that. We need to know how to keep that kidney healthy, okay? Love you. Sister Modupe's Raw Vegan Soul Food Show signing off. Peace.